The fearful discovery made by Voyager in the past decade has left scientists reeling, utterly unprepared for what they've encountered. Ever since Voyager sent back disturbing data from space, the scientific community has been on edge, unable to rest. Researchers, scientists, and engineers have been mobilized to confront the mysterious objects recently spotted by Voyager 1. These objects, numbering around 500, have left experts baffled, unsure of their origin or destination. Voyager 1, sailing through the uncharted territories of intergalactic space, has detected these enigmatic objects during its nearly 5 decades of exploration. This spacecraft, a marvel engineered by the minds at the Johns Hopkins Jet Propulsion Laboratory, has surpassed expectations, unveiling the astonishing wonders of the cosmos. Neil deGrasse Tyson's confirmation of Voyager's discovery shook the scientific community, sparking intense scrutiny of the data. The remarkable longevity of Voyager 1, traveling over 14.5 billion miles from Earth at a remarkable speed, challenges conventional expectations. Initially designed for a 3-year mission, Voyager 1 continues to defy odds, exceeding its projected lifespan by decades. Its endurance, thanks to redundant computer systems and meticulous power management strategies, underscores the dedication of engineers and scientists. However, Voyager's recent anomaly, detecting 500 unknown objects, presented a perplexing challenge. Scientists grappled with the unexpected transmission of mysterious telemetry data. Despite meticulous planning and rigorous evaluations, Voyager's anomaly, attributed to its altitude and articulation control subsystems, puzzled researchers. The significant time delay in communication, owing to the vast distance between Voyager and Earth, adds complexity to resolving anomalies. While the prevailing hypothesis implicates faulty commands from outdated onboard computers, researchers remain vigilant, considering cosmic radiation, extreme temperatures, and micrometeoroid impacts as potential causes. As scientists continue to unravel this mystery, they remain poised for Voyager's next discovery, eagerly awaiting insights from the far reaches of the cosmos. The recent discovery of 500 unknown objects belongs to this group. Despite our understanding of what goes on in deep space, nothing prepared us in advance for the shocking news that Voyager 1 brought our way. From where scientists stood, all they could see was that Voyager 1 was scared shitless because it felt as if these unknown objects were headed its way with plans of attacking the probe. As soon as scientists got the scary report from the Voyager, everyone was thrown into a state of deep concern. An unofficial state of emergency was declared in the scientific community as researchers and engineers pondered on an answer to this mosaic problem that unfolded right in their faces. This discovery was way out of the usual script. On a good day, the Voyager craft was only meant to interact with meteoroids, asteroids, and space rocks during its sojourn through space. So, we can understand their initial confusion when the Voyager craft stumbled upon strange objects whose origin we couldn't place anywhere in the directory of space projects we have compiled over the years. Technically, we could say that these unknown objects had materialized out of the blue. The more confusing part was the possibility that the objects could be headed our way. However, in the weeks that followed, scientists soon put this possibility to rest, never to rise again. But they had a tougher nut to deal with. They had to answer the question, why did the Voyager send such worrying data in the first place? As soon as researchers spotted the disturbing data from the Voyager, they didn't hesitate to term it as an anomaly. According to scientists, the phrase was the best description of the problem that the space probe had brought to their doorsteps. They informed the public how the signals came in unexpectedly and with no clear way of figuring out what was wrong. What happened was that Voyager 1 started transmitting mysterious telemetry data back to Earth. As if this wasn't confusing enough, they were more shocked by the fact that the spacecraft remained responsive to commands from mission control. How do we explain these unusual readings? Even though the spacecraft was responding normally, the only hiccup in this story is that there was a slight delay in communication. Overall, scientists found it puzzling that the Voyager craft's antenna remained pointed to the Earth, ensuring that it continued to receive and execute instructions effectively. In the eyes of scientists, this event was turning out to be a miracle, one that caused them to be soaked in the river of worries. There had to be a scientific explanation for this anomaly. They repeatedly pondered how the spacecraft could be functionally normal yet be sending back mysterious data to Earth. The story just wasn't adding up. Scientists were more bewildered when they noticed that the anomaly hadn't triggered any fault protection systems. This was seriously surprising because these onboard systems are designed to activate when anomalies are detected. These systems are meant to usher the craft into a safe mode that allows engineers to investigate and diagnose the issue. A different story played out during this mysterious event as the fault protection system stayed put and Voyager 1 continued its operations without entering safe mode. At some point, scientists and engineers had to pinch themselves to be sure they weren't in a dream. Researchers were literally in a fix with no idea of where to turn. However, the ice of confusion that characterized this discovery soon began to melt as researchers kept clawing at it in search of an answer. Their efforts paid out in the end because they soon arrived at the golden door they had been on the lookout for. Researchers found out that the anomaly was linked back to the altitude and articulation control subsystems. It turned out that the ACCS was the culprit behind this Warumi event. According to the Voyager's design, the ACCS was tasked with precisely orienting the space probe and controlling its movements. Imagine the shock on scientists' faces when they found out that the ACCS had been sending telemetry data through an onboard computer that had ceased functioning years back. They couldn't believe their eyes as they discovered that this outdated computer, which shouldn't have been involved in data processing, had by some unprecedented stroke of fate found its way into the telemetry transmission process. Hence, this led to the corruption of the data being sent back to Earth. This onboard computer had somehow made itself a stumbling block in the transmission chain of data from the Voyager to the Earth. However, what scientists still required an answer for was why this disturbing event was happening in the first place. Why did the anomaly have to spring up from nowhere? Even though they had gotten some relief from the recent findings, their minds still strayed towards the possibility that the Voyager could have seen 500 unknown and baffling objects passing by in space. In an attempt to finally lay this possibility to rest and put their minds at ease, scientists devised a way out. This novel solution involved instructing the ACCS to redirect telemetry data to the appropriate functioning data. They decided to go with this measure because it was considered low risk, and their bet turned out to be right at the end of the day. Although the solution was successfully implemented, they were faced with another challenge, which was the significant time delay in communication. During this investigation, they were a bit worried by this outcome, but then it wasn't something worth losing their sleep over. When we remember the vast distance that exists between the Voyager craft and the planet, the gap is so enormous that it is only fair to expect some delay in communication. With a 14.5 billion miles distance between the craft and our dear planet, it takes a significant amount of time for radio signals to travel through from both locations. Here's how the communication between both parties plays out. Whenever the mission control team at NASA's Deep Space Network sends a command to the Voyager, it travels as a radio signal at the speed of light. The Deep Space Network, DSN, is an extensive network of massive radio antennas strategically positioned across the globe that makes it possible for NASA to maintain communication with spacecraft exploring the far reaches of our solar system and beyond. The primary objective of this network is to facilitate two-way communication between the Earth and deep space missions alongside conducting radar and radio astronomy observations to widen our understanding of the universe. Whenever the Deep Space Network is transmitting data from the Voyager to the Earth, it often uses its channel 18 and usually makes use of frequencies 2.3 GHz or GARS. When we take a second look at this, we discover that when sending signals from the Earth to Voyager 1, a frequency of 2.1 GHz is used, and it occurs at the speed of light. As much as this traveling at the speed of light seems exciting, let's not forget the enormous distance separating both the probe and the Earth. Therefore, even at this supersonic speed, it takes the signal approximately 22 hours to reach the spacecraft. What this means is that after a command is transmitted, the mission control team has no choice but to wait for 22 hours before receiving any confirmation or response from the Voyager craft. This time delay explains why the mission team is very meticulous when it comes to the commands that they send to the Voyager 1. They are careful not to make any errors because it would increase their waiting time. At the end of the day, they often spend hours reviewing commands and going over plans before they send them and initiate them to avoid issues and unnecessary delays. Time delays would prolong the period required to perform a diagnosis of anomalies such as the one recently discovered by Voyager 1. Although the popular hypothesis is that the telemetry data sent to the Earth was likely caused by the ACCS receiving a faulty command from an onboard computer, researchers are far from satisfied. They believe that there is something still missing to complete this puzzle. Some researchers are still unsure of the exact cause of this anomaly, as there exist other possibilities such as cosmic radiation, extreme temperatures, and micrometeoroid impacts. The universe's environment can be a very harsh adversary even for sophisticated spacecraft like the Voyager 1. Moreover, since the Voyager craft is waxing old, it may have been a victim of the adverse and unforgiving space environment. All we can do for now is to keep our eyes glued on every one of these possibilities, because scientists may eventually find out which one of them is the guilty party. More so, let's cross our fingers for the next thrilling discovery that Voyager 1 will uncover as it keeps blazing through the deepest parts of the cosmos.